just
But a number of years ago, I was actually going through a very stressful time in my life, and I actually got.
This was before me.
Yeah,
okay.
before her. Yeah, she had, I think she was key for helping get rid of all. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I actually went through a period of hyperthyroidism. I had hyperthyroid, and I was trying all sorts of natural remedies. No, nothing was working. But it wasn't until we got doing the farming, getting out, I think it was getting my hands in the soil, getting the sunlight, and it just disappeared very quickly.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
When we were first married, I remember, we'd be trying to sleep. My phone's on. We'd be, sleeping, and I'd feel his heart just racing, and I'd be like,
it was very scary. It was scary.
Oh, it was really scary. Yeah. But the gardening just took that all away. Getting out into God's nature was that, all that romance we've had in our lives,
We're not on anymore.
Yeah, he
That's
never
right.
took anything for
it.
it.
And I'm so thankful. Yeah,
exactly.
There's no way I was going to do that.
We're talking drugs and
Exactly. Exactly. So if any of you have hypo or hyperthyroidism, be encouraged. You do not need to be on drugs for that. God's natural remedies will clear that up. Absolutely.
So for plants, of course, I mean, I know of people in World War II, just by chewing on the grass. I mean, we're standing on this grass, just by chewing on the grass, getting the nutrients from the grass, they survived and didn't starve to death. That's pretty much all they had to eat.
Exactly.
Was grass.
Oh, absolutely. But even if you just had the grass, I mean, what's the king's name? Nebuchadnezzar?
Nebuchadnezzar,
Exactly. Look at the animals, the cows, where do they get all their protein, their stuff from? Right there. So.
Well, a good example is the bears in the field next door.
Absolutely.
They're not chowing down on elk every day. They're sure eating a lot of grass.
The fiber, of course, it's a very tough fiber, so we wouldn't be able to digest that fiber.
It'll keep you regular.
It will keep you regular, all right. But and then we have the big leaf maples over top of us. Literally everything you see here, basically everything's edible, and the natives would be using all these. They'd use thousands of different kinds of plants. The natives in a year, they would. Actually, I was bringing
Hector.
He was sharing with us a bit last night.
Hector, you were telling us last night.
Just 1 second.
That the herbs that we were talking about last night, your people have been using those for centuries. Do you want to just talk briefly about that? Come on.
Don't be nervous. We're all friends.
Yeah, when I heard about everything that they were talking about, it was like a refresher course for me. Like way back then, before the white people came, all our people were using everything what these guys are talking about, what you guys have in the books. But when the white people came, they put us on reserve, and that we're not allowed to get any of these herbs, nothing, not allowed to grow anything. And if my mom and dad wanted to go get some soap berries and fish and go hunt, they have to have permit.
Oh wow.
And without the permit, you can't get what these guys are talking about, what was natural to us. It's a natural thing to have these things. We were allowed to play in the mud puddles. And when my sister makes a pie or cake, we are to eat it. We shared it, and we had little piece of it. And there's nothing wrong with that. We never got sick.
You're talking about mud pie?
Yeah, mud pie.
Yes, that's it. Because when I was a kid, we would actually eat some of the soil.
Exactly.
The clay and stuff.
We never did have that any kind of sickness, no obesity, nothing, until we were restricted to leave the village and go to our hunting grounds, our fishing ground, our berry picking ground, and to go get wood. Some of the wood like these guys were talking about were very important to us. The cedar.
Yes.
The cedar bough is we make tea out of it, and when there's something going on with us, they brush us off with it. They brush it off,
Yeah.
and all that negativity is gonna go away. Your mind will be clear,
Amen.
right? And the
So-
same with Devil's Club. They talked about it, and when she was talking about it, it brought me back to where Mom and Dad put us in the tub with that
Wow.
and washed ourselves with it.
Wow.
Wow, interesting.
And when we didn't want to get into the tub, they would dunk our heads in. Get in there. Get in there.
Thanks, Hector.
And then we would drink it.
Wow.
Drink it.
Yeah. Amen.
Right?
Medicine.
And these are all what I'm hearing now. And it's all natural. Everything
Yes.
is natural.
Amen.
Nowadays our kids aren't allowed to step in the puddle. You have to have boots like the white people.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. So he's on there.
Yeah, so I mean the blackberry, the leaves, you can make a tea with it. Very good for your respiratory, for coughs and stuff like
absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you know, but I was going to say, you know, like as we had an Aboriginal talking here,
Yeah.
and you know, they didn't. For many of us modern, you know, people today, we look at the woods as a scary place. For them, that was their grocery store. That was their playground. That was, you know, that was home. You know, and we don't need to be scared. God made the woods for us to enjoy.
Exactly.
And, you know, I think, you know, when like, I do a lot of backpacking and we're really getting into canoe camping and stuff. And, you know, she's a Toronto City girl. And so, you know, naturally scared of all that. And so getting over that. But, you know, I just ask God to protect me. He made this for us to enjoy. And you know,
for the service of man.
Exactly. So we don't need to be, and this can be our grocery store.
Exactly.
And we believe there will be
You were asking, we didn't finish with the maple? Was that it? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, of course, you can tap the trees for making a sugar, but any like the leaves, you can use that for food. And the bark, the inner bark of any of the trees, basically, the inner bark was the natives would use that for making food with the inner bark of the different trees.
You can even use flour. I mean, you can make flour.
Yeah, with the inner bark. Yeah.
Yeah.
We know a lady from Finland, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what they would, from the bark of the pine tree, they would actually grind that up, make a flour with that, and they would make bread and cookies and stuff with that. Yeah, that's what we see. We don't see. And it's funny, but it's true. It's like we don't see food in these things, but that's what. I mean, it wasn't just natives, it was our own ancestors, you know, in Europe. They would use all these things.
Exactly. We've just totally lost the art of it. And so we've lost the nutrition and the health.
What's the difference between the edible and palatable?
Oh, yeah, but like from those, I mean, we haven't tried it yet, but she said it was good. This is what their traditional food in Finland. They would, and it actually tasted good. I mean, if you ever, that's the pine tree, the bark. I always love smelling it because it smelled like cookies to me. And so, you grind it up and the inner bark of a lot of trees, you scrape that and it gets gelatinous when you cook it. And so it gets like a porridge kind of consistency. And it's
just like the same as.
So we got to relearn all these lost things so we can survive in the time of trouble. Yes. Okay, so
and red cedar. What was
Hector was saying?
Hector was saying, yeah. So that's very good for. I mean, red cedar is very. You know how the wood doesn't rot, right? So it has very powerful antifungal, antiparasitic properties. Yeah. So you can make a tea with that.
Absolutely good for cough, tuberculosis, those kinds of things.
Well, your pine tree is the same thing.
Do you guys hear that? We're talking about pine needles.
Any pine. White pine is the best, but you really don't need to worry about it. Any fir, spruce, pine.
Can you guys repeat the questions for the camera?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so No, I can't remember the question.
We're talking about pine needles.
Pine
and such.
needles. So so white pine. If you Google it, white pine is the safest, but really though you'd only have issues with the other pines if you were doing like literally like truckloads.
Yeah, you'll hear not to use the ponderosa, but again, if you're using truckloads of anything, that's not when we had COVID last year, we gathered those pine needles and made our tea. There's a special kind of vitamin C, shikimic acid. That's the really potent part of those needles. And in the spring, when you've got the new fresh needles, nice and soft, put them in your smoothies. Fantastic nutrition right there.
Yeah, this is what the explorers, they would use the pine needle tea for preventing scurvy.
Yeah,
for treating scurvy.
Great vitamin C happening.
Much higher vitamin C than in lemons.
Yes,
it's
amazing,
very
amazing.
high.
And we got the trees all around us for free, And that's the beauty of all of this. It's all free. You're not paying hundreds of dollars for a prescription. You're just going out in your backyard or in the forest and gathering things.
So here's narrow leaf plantain. We were talking about plantain last night. So that's narrow leaf plantain. It's right here. And this is the psyllium, the seed head there.
Loud.
So that's where you get psyllium from.
But you don't want to. It's so good. You want more of it. Yeah.
But just use it then. That's the thing.
Exactly. That's the thing. We think about getting rid of the weeds in our gardens. Use the weeds in your garden.
Some of these things
don't get rid of them.
That is sorrel.
Personally, it's a
there's
wonderful
sorrel
cover
over
crop.
here.
So it chokes everything else out. Yeah.
There's also here's sorrel.
Comes from plantain, or it's a light.
There.
Hold on, where is
Does everybody know what sorrel
where
is?
is it? Hold on.
There.
My wife's looking at some other stuff there first, so we'll wait for her.
Over here, guys.
Sourgrass, I loved eating this as a kid, still do. I was starting to move on to sorrel.
Sorrel, sorrel.
Yeah.
Isn't that the yummy? Have you tried
Yeah, that's the lemon one,
Pick some sorrel and chew it. It is
so there's a whole
good.
bunch along here. This is a sorrel
Make sure
here.
you're picking the right thing. Hold on, we'll
here.
pick it.
With kind of like arrowhead shape.
Pick a whole bunch. It is so delicious. Put this in your salad. You'll have little hits of lemon. Hold on.
Externally, it has a lot of uses because of that as a wash and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's been used for things like cancer, colic. Although there are lots of
this is tansy.
Tansy ragwort. I love that ragwort.
Ragwort. The natives really, they had a use for every different kind of plant that there was, and multiple uses for every different kind of plant.
The yellow plant.
Well, this is actually, I think this is hawthorn. It looks like hawthorn that we have in the interior. I think maybe. It looks familiar, but I'm not sure because, like I said, it does have the thorns, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if people that are around here locally. But
hawthorn is excellent for heart conditions.
We have a lot of hawthorn where we live in the interior, and hawthorn is a very beneficial thing for making it
for heart conditions.
Yeah.
The berries,
the berries, and the leaves you can use.
There you go. Awesome. Thank you for confirming that.
What makes you say, it is? Like when you do that, when you scrape it, what does it tell you that it is?
Well, you can tell because the hawthorn's got a very, very hard wood to it. It's one of the hardest hardwoods out here.
Right.
Yeah.
So even if you try to cut it with your knife, you can hardly score the hardwood. You see that? You can't get it. The bark will come off, but the wood won't actually score itself.
Because
it's tough.
It's so tough.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like when you cut it with a chainsaw, after you finish cutting, say, a piece of hawthorn like this, you have to sharpen your chainsaw again.
It's so hard.
It's
so
so
hard.
this is known as Canada's ironwood, the hawthorn. It's it's very, very. Thank you.
It does for the heart.
For the heart,
And you'll find it in a lot of commercial heart preparations as well. Yeah. Your husband? Yeah.
My husband too.
Exactly.
He doesn't need to take them.
Okay. Well, when it's older, it's going to have lots of berries, and you just harvest those berries.
You can use
harvest
the
the
leaves
leaves
as well.
Yeah. Just be careful of these thorns. Look at them. They are very treacherous there. Okay. Fantastic. Good find.
Yeah.
Good find.
The
There's a little bit of
Is
mullein.
this a mullein?
Yeah, there's some mullein.
Here's the
Yeah.
candle
Yeah,
flower.
there's some little young plants there.
This is the mullein when it's dry. Then you can use it as a candle now because it's all dry, and dip it in some fat and have your torch. Yeah. What's this one? Yeah.
That's what we call it here.
Yeah.
Horsetail. Everybody familiar with that?
We are now.
Okay. So, so what is this very high in? That's one of its most silica.
Exactly. Nails, hair.
Yes, and silica is very essential for us for the bone strength, for teeth, for of course for hair.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so yeah, it was interesting. I was just reading this morning about how the silica, you have to be low in silica in order to get the issues with the calcium leaching from your bones. So this is really the precursor, making sure that you have a lot of silica. So very good as a tea to be drinking and just strain it before you drink it.
Such a cool plant. You know, just so neat looking.
But also for a hair wash, it'll give you very good for a shampoo. I mean, you'll find silica from these plants in a lot of natural commercial products.
Definitely.
My hair grow back?
It actually is
Rub it
very
on.
good for hair growth,
Yeah,
and it is excellent for
definitely.
hair growth. Yeah.
Okay, we're coming upon some thimbleberry.
Yep. There's more further up. But what is this plant here? Does anybody know? Thimbleberry.
Awesome. And what's good about it?
The berries are delicious, yeah, and those, of course, are very good for you. The leaves, once again, any of the raspberry plant family, the raspberry leaves, the blackberry leaves, thimbleberry leaves, all have different properties, but all very good as teas.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
nausea, vomiting. This will be really good for diarrhea.
Diarrhea, okay, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thimble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's kind of fuzzy. I remember when.
They taste good and sometimes they taste like
True. Yeah.
Just what was it?
Nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, any of those types of.
And we were talking, you mentioned raspberry leaves, the raspberry leaf tea, very good for pregnant women, for easy childbirth.
Yeah. So we're just going to talk about blackberry again to get it for the video here. And of course, it's got all the lovely thorns. You know, where we used to live, where we used to do our farmer's market in Peachland, on the slopes of Peachland, oh my goodness, the best
blackberries ever. It's super sweet because they're in the Okanagan.
Yeah.
Lots of sunshine. And,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But that slope is like hidden creeks and crevices. And
yeah, she just left it for me.
So after a year or two, I just thought, okay, I'm going to sit in the car. You go, because you'd be walking down and you'd fall into this creek. It's crazy.
With blackberries all around, not the funnest thing.
Yeah, and I had to be dressed up in all kinds of long sleeve rubber, and this one would just go and dive right in. So I just thought, have at it, guy. Have at it. Yeah.
But one thing the natives would do with the blackberries, the young shoots in the spring, they would actually just kind of peel them and eat them like asparagus. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So.
And fireweed.
Fireweed's great. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I love fireweed.
What did you do?
Just the young shoots.
Yeah. And just eat it raw, or did you steam it?
Just eat it raw.
Raw, yeah.
There's about 3 different layers, and each layer tastes different.
Oh, surprise. Love it.
And we don't have any here, but cattails, if you're ever in a survival situation, that's like the easiest to identify. And I mean, I know the Canadian government studied them before as a crop, and like an acre of cattail produced more calories than an acre of potatoes. So that was in the roots. You can get the roots, you can grind them up as flour and use the roots, as well as every part of the cattail.
That's right.
When I lived up north, it was just a common thing that people would can the green cattail, the top part, when it turns brown. What do you call that? I can't remember the name of that. But anyway, the top part there of the cattail. Yeah. Anyway, but the pollen from the cattail, you can use that for flour as well, and they give a lot of pollen. So
Brown fuzzy stuff. No, when it's green, you
when they're green, when they're just young, people up north, they just treat it like a cob of corn. You just or you just steam it fresh and eat it like that.
I
Yeah.
love it. God is so good. My word, so much.
And the young shoots of the cattail as well in the spring, it tastes like a cucumber actually. So you can eat the young shoots when they're first coming up.
Behold the black poplar.
This one is one of the most powerful medicinals. The young little the buds, the leaf buds in the spring especially, they're very sticky and kind of a brown oozing. Yeah, stick to your feet, go on the cars and everything. But they're actually very medicinal. So you can just pack them. Just trying to remember exactly the process of using them. But anyway, you put them and soak them, and
Wonderful
in
for
oil.
bronchitis.
Yeah, that's right, in oil. Yeah.
Upper respiratory disorders.
Yeah, the fern, of course, fiddleheads in the spring. Yeah. And here's some stinging nettle. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so we got that as well. And stinging nettle is probably one of the most powerful, just healthy plants in the world. Yes, very high in iron, just extremely good for you.
Absolutely.
This is the stinging nettle, right here, yeah.
You'll know when you touch it.
Oh, it stings?
It'll sting.
Okay, I'm sure it is, yeah.
Actually, this is a young.
Well, when it's older, yeah.
When it's older, it'll sting.
Yeah.
But great for arthritis, joint issues. Really good for that.
Also, in a survival situation, very strong fibers. So that makes excellent, very strong rope. Yeah. You would just dry the stem and beat it with like a stick, and it will separate the fibers, and then you can make a rope with it. Yeah.
It's also good for anemia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The spring are full of minerals.
Yeah.
Very high in minerals. Yeah.
Anemia. If you've got gout, you can add anything to your smoothies. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Pesto, awesome.
I've heard of a lot of people who make pesto from stinging nettle. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah.
And the Roman soldiers, they would whip each other with it to toughen themselves up.
To be aware of new videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to the Preparing for the Time of Trouble channel. For more free videos and downloadable audio podcasts, as well as handouts, go to www.preparingforthetimeoftrouble.com. Topic categories include recordings of live seminar presentations, country living, sustainable gardening, homestead remedies, how to be self-sufficient when the grid goes down, wild edible and medicinal plants, hydrotherapy, and end-time Bible prophecies. To take advantage of these free resources, go to preparingforthetimeoftrouble.com.